Hello, I'm going to talk to you about failed financial investments. What do you do if you've been involved in a financial investment that's gone wrong? What happens if you've lost money and you don't know why you've lost the money? What do you do? Where do you resort to? Who do you go to? Right, the first thing is a lawyer. A lawyer will be able to tell you what sort of contract you have. One thing I'd like to say beforehand is that there are, the perception of many people out there is that when you lose money in a financial investment, then tough luck. You've tried to make money by risking your assets or even your own savings, and you are only responsible for that because you chose to take that risk. That is a very simplistic manner of seeing things, and therefore we don't even entertain those sort of thoughts or perceptions. We've got to say that courts do sometimes say that certain financial investments that went wrong, and therefore there is no recourse. However, we've got to go a bit deeper than that. The first thing you need to know, and that's what a lawyer will be able to tell you, is if that company is legally registered in Spain. Companies that are not registered in Spain to provide financial investments generally have not complied with national laws. So that's already a breach of contract and a breach of regulations on the matter, and that could be the start of the end or the beginning of the end for that contract. Another thing which you need to look into is the background of the investor. In other words, it's what we call the profiling of the investor. Did the company carry out the duty to profile the investor? In other words, did they ensure that the profile of that investor, in other words, the background, the experience, the knowledge, the expectations, matched the profile of that person? If you, for example, have an investor who has all his life worked as a farmer, for example, or in marketing or as a pilot, and all of a sudden they choose to invest in some highly complex product, the company who offers him this product is under a duty to ensure that that person does understand what they are signing. It's not good, or is not good enough for them to say that they signed a contract, the signature is on the contract, and thereby that's it. No, it doesn't work like this, because generally when people sign things which they don't understand, then all of a sudden there is the possibility to challenge that contract on grounds that consent was not extracted legally. So the actual profiling of the consumer is very, very important. The other thing is marketing, advertising. I mean, how did this company offer their products? Did they use legitimate means? Did they publish brochures or other promotional literature which was correctly drafted? Was it at all deceitful? Did it have any misrepresentations? These things are very, very important, because publicity which may cause someone to not understand or to even go into a contract because of the mistaken information in it can be set aside. These contracts are flawed. So these things have to be looked into by the lawyer who's dealing with it, and ultimately file a claim with the courts to have the contract declared void. Now, there are companies especially in the big cities, who are forensic accountancy firms or just rather normal forensic companies on financial matters. These companies will provide an objective, independent report on that particular contract, and they'll say whether that contract was correct from an investment point of view. In other words, if there is a possibility or would say a reasonable prospect of it making money for the consumer. These people are very important when you go to court, because judges generally don't understand anything about finances, and therefore they rely on independent forensic experts who are going to deliver their report in court. So don't leave these people on the side, and think about them when going to court over a failed financial contract. Thank you very much.